return home against a couple of teams, the Rockies and the Astros, that have really struggled on the road this year. And we're certainly glad you're with us. It cranks up this week with the Colorado Rockies. Hello there once again, everybody, alongside Bill Schroeder. My name is Darren Sutton. Certainly glad to have you back with us. And we are so glad to be back home after a long and struggling road trip for the Brewers. Struggling, though, would not describe Chris Capuano, I should say, who in the absence of Ben Sheets is right now the acting ace of this staff.
And it's all about rhythm for Capuano. Right now he's got confidence in everything he's throwing up there. The fastball, the changeup, the slider, everything working for Capuano, particularly his last start against the Washington Nationals. When he struggles, he gets behind the count, he gives up home runs. And when he doesn't want to give in and throw that fastball, he walks batters. So right now, Capuano throwing as good a baseball as he has as a Milwaukee Brewer. Did not walk a batter against Washington. Right now, he is the ace of the staff.
That was the end of his night. The Brewers went on to lose that game 1-0. The bottom line are these numbers. In his 4 starts, you can see what the club has done. The club victorious just about every time he takes the mound this month, even dating back to April of last year. Now, as we mentioned, the Brewers must win on this homestand. 2 teams, Houston and Colorado, to start off with, that do not win on the road.
Well, I tell you what, road or whatever, these guys can hit the baseball. The Colorado Rockies have a pretty good offense, but historically, this is a team that doesn't pitch very well. They lead the National League in walks to the Colorado Rockies, and right now, the Brewers have been scoring some runs, and they have been walking. So you can see what these guys have been doing so far this year. They're going to be in Colorado later in August, but right now, now's the time to get these guys.
This is some kind of a special rookie. You'll get a look at him tonight. Shortstop Clint Barmas. Those numbers, not amongst rookies, amongst all players. Some great start right there for the Rockies shortstop. We're certainly glad you're with us tonight. Trying to get it going are the Brewers back at home, trying to stop that man. Super rookie Clint Barmas. Rocks and crew right after this. Brewers baseball on FSN North is presented by Menards. Save big money at Menards. By Aflac. Ask about us at work. By Rico. How well do you print, copy, scan, and fax? How well do you share? And by Miller. There's good enough and there's better than it has to be. Miller. Good call. Chris Capuano getting ready to face these Colorado Rockies. It certainly is good to be back home. Darren and Bill back with you. Bob Brainerd will be joining us here in just a little while. And Jamie Quirk acting as the manager for the Colorado Rockies. Clint Hurdle will miss his 3rd consecutive game. He flew home to Denver to be with his wife and 2-year-old daughter Madison, who was hospitalized and battling an illness. Our thoughts certainly go out to a very good man, Clint Hurdle, as his daughter tries to heal. But for now, it's Jamie Quirk, the bench coach, that will manage these Colorado Rockies. Let's take a look at the starting lineup put together by Jamie Quirk. And that man right at the top, Clint Barmas. And number 3 in that hole, Todd Helton. GMC starting lineup. Holiday, Green, Atkins take you toward the bottom. Then Moore, Gonzalez, and Chacon take you home. 1 through 9 for the Colorado Rockies. And we just talked about him, Bill. He's red hot, Capuano.
That's a good guy to start off this homestand. Brewers really need to pick up some wins in this homestand. A lot of road games after this week at Miller Park. He's only given up 8 runs in 30 and the 3rd innings in the month of May. He has been outstanding. Probably last 2 starts the best as a major leaguer, back-to-back for Chris Capuano. He has to pick it up here again tonight.
So Cappy just about ready to go. Let's take a look at the Brewers defensively as they work behind Chris Capuano. Lyle Overbay trying to break up a double play yesterday. Went in pretty hard. Ended up banging his shin and is given the night off tonight. Is available to pinch hit. Wes Helms plays first. Paul Hardy and Cirillo on the infield. Lee Clark Jenkins in the outfield. Damian Miller. That tendonitis in his tricep and shoulder area, at least feeling better to get him out there and get him in the starting lineup. There's Lyle. Shame to have him out.
No doubt about it. This guy, he started to heat it up a little bit. A couple of opportunities to get on base late in the ball game. Came in for defense, ended up getting a couple of at-bats.
Well, our very first look at Clint Barmas, 26 years old, out of Indiana State University, and having a fabulous start to this season. Rookies just aren't supposed to do what he has been doing as he rolls it out to 3rd. Backhanded play, Cirillo, 1 out.
Jeff Cirillo getting a lot of playing time because he's been doing that a lot, playing very good defense and hitting the baseball. Good way to start for the Brewers defensively. Defense Kind of was a culprit at the end of the game yesterday in Minnesota. Nice play at third.
As the year goes on, getting more nimble at third, Jeff Cirillo. The bat coming alive as well. Aaron Miles takes low and inside. Miles, a switch hitter, heating up last couple of weeks, hitting .400 in his last 11 games, 28 years old. And if I say 27, 26, 25, when I talk about these players, this is a very, very young team.
Yeah, one of the youngest in the big leagues. They've got a lot of rookies on the roster right now. No team in the National League has more rookies.
Fouled off to the right side. Helms will give it a run, and he runs out of space. Youngest team in baseball, to be specific, with an average age of 27 years old and 164 days. They have played 11 different rookies already this season, far and away more than any other club. The Dodgers of all teams second with 8.
Big departure from the Colorado Rockies that you saw in the last few years. A lot of veterans and trying to get into the postseason in a rebuilding mode now.
They're always going to hit, though, and part of it is Coors Field, and that's why they are where they are offensively.
Well, they're not going to run a whole lot. The home runs are a bit of a surprise. I guess that's a function of the youth of this ball club, always amongst the leaders in home runs playing at Coors Field. Not this year. And the ERA always straight around the bottom of the National League.
Boy, that just missed the inside corner. 3-2 the count.
Hasn't really been given in a whole lot. He's been very good on the corners, has Capuano. And that one missed just a bit off the plate.
Driven to right field. Easing over his Jenks. He puts it away. 2 away. He'll get him on the ground. He'll get him in the air. Capuano, a guy who, Bill, as you mentioned, will battle the home run bugaboo, has allowed 7 home runs and more fly ball outs this year than outs on the ground.
Now, you would figure with the youth of this ball club, that changeup for Capuano is, I would say, going to be a big pitch, because young hitters really don't make the adjustment on the changeup as quickly as the veteran guys.
Todd Helton goes after the first pitch. Fly ball left field. Carlos Lee. 1, 2, 3. Go the Rockies. Sights and sounds of Miller Park. Certainly good to see for this club, and they hope it will spark them after a 3-7 road trip, although closer look tells you it could have been a lot better. Sean Chacon completing his warm-up tosses. Ned Yost, a very special day today, obviously making out that lineup with a smile as his son Ned Jr. signed a minor league contract to begin his professional career with the Milwaukee Brewers. Let's take a look at Ned's 9, brought to you by GMC. Former Rocky Jeff Cirillo right there in the heart of it. Clark, Jenks, and Lee take us toward the bottom. Miller, Hall, and Helms. Then it's Hardy and Capuano, who handles the bat very nicely. Against the 27-year-old right-hander Bill, back out of the bullpen into the rotation, Sean Chacon.
Now, he can walk the ballpark, so the Brewer hitters have to be patient. The number's not too bad. 3.16, 1-3 record. He's lost his last 3 decisions. He's got a no decision in his last start. Rockies just don't score runs when this guy's on the mound.
So Brady Clark digs in. Clark, another big trip. It's been a big year for the right-handed leadoff hitter as he takes a pitch outside. 1-0. Brady had 15 hits on that 10-game road trip, 2 of them home runs. And he patiently awaits the first strike. 339, 6 homers, 22 RBIs, a .404 on base percentage. And again, he takes another pitch low. He loves Miller Park.
Yes, he does. He's been loving it everywhere. Road, not so good, but he had a pretty good road trip. This recently completed road trip, as you talked about. Big home run in yesterday's ball game, getting the Brewers going. Now, in as much as the Brewers were on the attack against the Twin starting rotation, just the opposite in this series. I mean, the Colorado Rockies pitching staff leads the National League in issuing walks. Almost 200 of them already. Got to be patient. They'll walk you.
3-1, fouled off yesterday. A very tough customer on the mound, Johan Santana. Brady beat him.
Yeah, flat slider, and he got the Brewers on the board. That tied the game at 1. Boy, tough loss yesterday for the Crew, taking a 3-run lead in the bottom of the 9th, and Twins ended up tying it up. Brewers lost in 11. That was a very, very quiet ride home.
In on his hands, popped up. Aaron Miles, the second baseman, under it, and he makes the play for the out. Let's take a look at the Rockies defensively, brought to you by Rico. And in the middle of the outfield, Dustin Moore. Was to be Preston Wilson. He was a late scratch, not given an official reason why. So Moore is out there, the versatile one. Holiday and Gonzalez flank him. Atkins, Barmes, Miles, and Helton on the infield. Veteran catcher Todd Green behind the plate.
Yeah, far and away the most errors of any team in the National League. You wonder how you can lead the National League in team batting average, up there in runs, and have only won a handful of games. 13 wins for the Colorado Rockies.
Cirillo, a high fly ball center field. That bounds off the wall, and a red-hot May continues for the Brewers' third baseman.
Hey, you got to play a hot hand, don't you? I mean, Russell Brady has been sitting against right-handers of late because of that guy right there. 9th double of the year for Cirillo, swinging a hot bat. Check it out. He lets the ball get back in on him, hits it right off his front foot, and over the head of Dustin Moore, who's a late addition to that starting lineup for the Rockies. Hits it right where he should. Pitch away from him, back through the box. Brewers with the man in scoring position.
And a chance to strike first, an opportunity for Jeff Jenkins. It takes a good curveball, but it misses low. Maybe the sight of those purple uniforms made Jeffs excited. I mean, Brewers fans followed him, I'm sure. He hit .326, Cirillo did, as a Rocky back in 2000. 115 RBIs. The next year had 17 home runs for the Rockies.
Much different look with that roster when Cirillo was with Colorado.
Jeff gets into one to left center field. Moore easing back toward the wall. He's got room. Cirillo will tag and head to third. Jenkins just missed hitting that out.
Man alive. You know, Jeff's starting to really feel it up there at the plate. I was talking to Butch Weidinger about Jeff yesterday, and Jeff's starting to be a little quieter at the plate, not over swinging and taking the ball to the opposite field. He hit that one pretty far into left center. The foot goes down, then the swing. Nice level swing for Jenkins. And drives it to center field, not trying to pull it anymore. I think he thought for a second he might have got enough.
I thought he had. Jeff had 13 hits on that 10-game road trip, Bill. Had a homer and 6 RBIs. That's what you're talking about. Carlos Lee missed a golden opportunity late in yesterday's game to add some insurance. Turns out the Brewers would have needed it. But all in all, Carlos, a big stop in Minnesota. Had a home run and a couple of doubles on Saturday night. Also picked up his 1,000th career hit. Curveball misses in, 2-0.
Well, it's going to be up to these two guys and Overbay once he gets back in the lineup. I don't anticipate Lyle being out too long, but the middle of this Brewer order, these are the guys that are going to have to drive in the runs.
Pitches high and inside. Number 2 in the National League in RBIs. It's the Lee boys at top. Derek Lee with 38, Carlos Lee with 37. And a late call of strike 1.
So you see it, Carlos Lee been very consistent driving him in whether he's getting hits or not.
What a day he had Saturday, though.
Yep, 2 doubles, a home run, driving in a couple of runs, 4 altogether, a 2-run homer right there. Double down the line with the bases loaded.
And he looks at a curveball for ball 4.
It's basically fastball, curveball, changeup for Sean Chacon. Not overpowering by any means. Goes in the mid to upper 80s with the fastball. He'll change speeds on the curveball. He'll put a little bit more on it with 2 strikes. Try and get that strikeout and a changeup. He's all over the place. He can be very wild. He walked 9 in a game already this year.
Yeah, that start was May 7th at Florida. Amazingly enough, he went 5 2/3 innings and allowed just 2 runs. 2 runs. How does that happen?
Houdini. I don't know. Wow. 9 runs, 9 walks, 2 runs.
He did lose the game 4-1, but all the walks, the one thing that has been out of his hands is he is getting no support. As that one goes back to the screen. I mean, let us focus on the walks, but not overlook the fact that this right-hander's got a 3.16 ERA.
And back-to-back starts, Chacon walked 15 combined, 9-1 starts, 7 the start before that, and had given up only 4 runs.
Two and 1 to count. I mean, this tells him no run support. Pitches much better than his teammates. They get a lot more run support.
I don't think there was any of the Brewers starting pitchers over there feeling I'm real sorry for Sean Chacon, however. A bunch of the Brewers starters can sing that same tune.
Yeah, Chris Capuano tonight, Wes Obermueller as well.
Obi's been throwing the ball well.
Carlos has a huge jump and he takes it. Let it be known about Carlos Lee that he's a big guy and he lumbers around from base to base and in the outfield as well. But when he's going to steal it, he steals it. There is no doubt.
Doesn't get thrown out, does he? And he's very smart. He has good instincts out there on the bases. And he chose a pretty good pitch to run on, one of those slow curveballs.
I mean, had a huge jump. 3-2 to Damon. Got it with a curveball. He just stuck with it, and he worked out of it. 1 out double wasted there by the Brewers. That curveball, pretty nasty when he throws it for a strike.
28th, that's Saturday. Residents of Ozaukee, Washington, Waukesha, Racine, and Milwaukee counties can purchase half-price tickets on all reserve seats, excluding the Euchre seats, and that's subject to availability. Call 414-902-4000 for details.
Can't beat half price, especially when you're attending a big league game. Chris Capuano ready to go back to work. Matt Holliday, Todd Green, and Garrett Atkins for the Colorado Rockies. As that one nails the inside corner, strike 1. "25 years old and a superstar football player, a quarterback in high school. And when you're born in Stillwater, Oklahoma, you are headed to be the quarterback at Oklahoma State University." But the Colorado Rockies cranked up their offer and pulled him into the fold, and he is a talented player, power to all fields.
The Rockies have 2 pretty good quarterback prospects on their ball club.
You're
Todd
right.
Helton, Tennessee Volunteers.
Matt Holliday's father, Tom Holliday, longtime baseball coach, coached at Oklahoma State. I believe now he is a pitching coach for Texas. Matter of fact, when I took my recruiting trip to Oklahoma State, it was Matt's dad that took me around. There's that strength we're talking about. Down the line it goes, and Holliday easy a 2-bagger. Carlos plays it off the short wall and gets it back in. So for Holliday, that is 6 doubles this year.
A big tall kid. He stands pretty straight up there at the plate, and good leverage, likes the ball down in the zone. He went out and got that one and hooked it right down the line. Pretty good swing. Went out and got it, hooked it down the line out of the reach of Cirillo, and a leadoff double for the Rockies. Got a lot of talent offensively on this ball club. They may be young, but they can hit.
And that's exactly what this man was talking about, veteran Todd Green, before the game. He said the one thing we're battling right now is frustration, because Todd's played on a lot of different teams, broke in with the Angels. And he said, I look around this locker room and I don't think these guys realize how much talent's in this locker room. Losing, though, Bill, will beat it out of him.
And that's what happens. You really can't fault the offense for the most part. I mean, they've been pretty good all year. We were talking about how can you only win 13 games with one of the the best batting average in the National League. They score a lot of runs. Well, they're last in pitching, and their defense has been atrocious. Far and away the most errors in the National League. Their bullpen has really had a tough ride. Starting pitching hasn't been so bad. Bullpen has struggled. And when you're having a tough time in the bullpen late in the ball game and making errors, that translates into losses.
1-1 the count on the Georgia native. This is a guy that got to the big leagues out of Georgia Southern University and was signed strictly because of his power. He put up huge home run totals in college. In the minor leagues, he had a season where he hit 40 home runs. Never really materialized in the big leagues and taught himself how to catch. And that's now why he is continuing to get work. A real solid backup, Bill.
Yep, he can hit a little bit, hitting 288. And if you can catch and throw in the major leagues, you're going to be around a long time. No doubt about it.
Capuano working at 2-1. And the fastball misses low. You know, different teams do different things to prepare for a game. All teams have video units that sit in the corner of the locker room when they travel, where a player can come and watch Chris Capuano on video, and they document all of it. Rockies doing something a little different, plugging in Capuano's work on all of their televisions so that the guys making their way through the locker room, whether it be having a sandwich or sitting down and chatting, could peek up and watch a couple of pitches or at-bats against Capuano.
Big fan of that. I mean, why have a movie on? Guys watching a movie in the clubhouse, you come to the ballpark and it's all business. And New York Mets did that. They've done that for a long time. They'll put video up there on all the monitors in the clubhouse and have the pitcher that night that they're going to face up there. Why not do that? It's a great idea.
And as soon as that video went in, it was interesting. The talking started, Bill. The guys started talking amongst themselves about the different at-bats they had against Capuano. And Preston Wilson quickly pointed out to some of the younger players, be ready, his changeup cuts in. Which is totally and completely accurate.
Which is true. You bet.
Another youngster, Garrett Atkins, 25 years old. Very unique stance there. Big guy, but he's crouched down wide open. Hits it towards short. Hardy, they get one. You bet that's a double play.
Wow, nice play. Boy, what a job by J.J. Hardy. He might be struggling with the bat, and he might have saved a run or two on that play. I mean, that's in the left field. If nothing else, a lot of shortstops get to that baseball, but aren't able to get one, let alone a double play. Look at it. A lot of it's where you position yourself. Rich Dower helps with that. And two very good throwing arms up the middle for Milwaukee. Well, you talk about defense. There it is. Nice. That is one heck of a play right there.
One more big out to get. Dustin Moore, the #1 shortstop in the National League, rookie J.J. Hardy.
Yeah, the Brewers have two very good fielding shortstops on their roster. Bill Hall, when he plays shortstop, has yet to make an error. And J.J. Hardy with only one.
Big sweeping breaking ball. He went around. We were talking about Preston Wilson.
He tried, but couldn't do it.
Preston was the one giving the advice on the Capuano changeup. Moore in place of Preston Wilson. Late scratch, Wilson was. Another curveball. 1-2.
Capuano has had a lot of success backdooring that off-speed pitch, the slider to right-handed hitters. As we talked about, it's all rhythm for Capuano, and he is in a period right now where he's really feeling comfortable out there in the mound. He's got all his pitches working for him.
Run at third, the 1-2. Got a lot of home plate. It's driven toward right, but Jenkins is there. I'll tell you, rookie J.J. Hardy, a couple of great rookie shortstops tonight, and Barmes and J.J. Defense is king now, though. You fun tonight, Barmes and Hardy in this game together. Two super rookie shortstops. JJ tells us he'd like to be hitting a lot more, but a play like that, a big difference. Watch us all week long, we hope. What's on Tap brought to you by Miller, Colorado. Tomorrow pregame show gets it started, then 3 against Houston this weekend. One around on the big slow curveball. Strike one on Bill Hall. Bill, in the midst of a 4-game hitting streak, has that average at a very respectable 277. As that one misses inside. Talking about Hardy at short. Hall, when playing short, does not have an error this year. Hit hard. There's Barmes. Anything you can do, I can do better. It's going to be a fun series to watch.
Yes, it is. Two pretty slick fielding shortstops out there in this ball game. Loses his footing just a bit, but able to set himself and make a good throw over to third base. I think that JJ may have a better arm than Barmes. But still, no, Barmes has really done a nice job this year.
You can see he has scuffled quite a bit more defensively. So, you know, they each have their give and take right now, and that's normal as a rookie.
Yeah, there's a learning curve out there, different for every player.
0-2 the count on Wes Helms. It was his big single yesterday that drove in a run, put the Brewers on top of the Minnesota Twins, and they thought it was to stay as that one goes into right field. Luis Gonzalez is there. This is an out, Bill, but yesterday I would imagine a big confidence builder as Wes, against one of the best pitchers going, gave the Brewers a lead.
It's been a rough stretch for Wes Helms ever since that injury in Puerto Rico last year, but that had to feel good to give the Brewers a lead that they would not relinquish until the bottom of the ninth. Starting to hit the ball much better, Wes Helms.
Here's JJ. So JJ was telling us that on this recent road trip, he had a sort of an awakening inside in which he said, I'm not the hitter that I was in the minor leagues because I've changed my approach, and I shouldn't have done that. Telling us that he is more of a pull hitter, and the balls he's supposed to pull, he's not pulling. Pulls that baseball, his counterpart, and another rookie throws in time for the out. Certainly glad you're with us. Scoreless game, top of the third. A special day for manager Ned Yost, but I would say a bigger day for son Ned Jr. signing a pro contract with the Milwaukee Brewers. Bob Brainerd standing by with a man who's excited.
You are excited, aren't you, Ned?
Yes, I am.
Which Ned are you, by the way? Number 3?
The 4th.
You're the 4th, but you're Ned Jr.
That's what everyone calls me up here.
When you get to 3 or 4, it doesn't matter. Congratulations on signing your contract today. Now, you can sign a contract and don't have to wait for the draft because
I'm a 5th-year senior.
And he was a 5th-year senior, guys, at UW Oshkosh, where he played the past couple years. You played a lot of positions. You can play first base, outfield, and catcher. What will you do when you get to the minor leagues?
I think they're going to dabble me in a little bit all of them. So it's not really a set position. They said they want me to play, a little bit of everything.
And what's your timetable? You got a couple days off, and then what?
Yeah, tomorrow I'm going to drive back down to Georgia, and Thursday I fly off to Arizona.
How thrilled was Dad when the actual signing took place today?
He was very excited,
And Ned, guys, by the way, he took his physical, and he passed it right at game time, despite the fact that he pounded not 1, but 2 corn dogs. How'd you pull that off?
I'm still trying to figure that out myself.
Well, best of luck to you, Ned. And being in the Brewers system, Dad can keep tabs on you, so watch what you do, okay?
That's right. I got to keep my nose clean.
All right. Ned Jr. Ned number 4 in the Brewers system.
Some kind of special. And he had a chance, as some guys do when they sign, to work out with the big club, although he has done it before. Getting in some work today. The newest member of the Brewers family, Ned Yost IV.
Hey, he can rake. I mean, you saw those numbers, hitting over 400 at UW Oshkosh. I'll tell you, that's a good program up there in Oshkosh, up in the Fox Valley. Tom Lechner, the manager up there, and I tell you want to get noticed as a baseball player, you go up to Oshkosh. You have a guy signing all the time out of there. Good program.
Ned was beaming today.
That's where Jim Gantner went.
Jim Gander, Jared Washburn as well. Yes, is that the right place?
I believe so.
Luis Gonzalez, right fielder at first base, doesn't have a stolen base, but he may get picked off. I mean, that's just what Chris Capuano does. And especially pitchers. We did some rough math figuring that every pitcher, and I think it's 3 of them that have reached this year against Chris, have all been picked off.
Everybody.
He takes outside.
You know, and pitchers will take a lead of about 2 feet, but they really don't expect a pitcher to throw over, and they get picked off without even trying to get back. That's how good that move is.
Cirillo is way in at third looking for the bunt. And the move drives him back again. Scoreless ball game, top of the 3rd inning. Certainly glad you're with us tonight. And Harvey Keene Jr., by the way, was the scout who put together the deal and signed Ned today. That one is fouled off on a slash. To quote Ned, he said, "It's hard to explain it. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of that he has worked himself to a point to go play pro baseball." He said he had to make some tough choices when youngsters were heading off for self-serving trips, fun trips. You're supposed to do that when you're young. He was spending time rehabbing a wrist that he injured. It's bothered him the last couple of years. Last June had to have surgery on that wrist.
That's pretty much standard if you want to be a pro baseball player. I mean, everybody that is serious about baseball, it's about the time when you really gear up in college. Everybody else is heading off to spring break. I went through it. You went through it.
Yep.
And that's just part of what you have to give up.
Miller thinking too, changes his mind.
That's a good idea. I don't think they would have had him at second base. Gonzalez had a pretty good jump off the bat. Damian thought about it, but he said to himself, I'm going to get the sure out at first base. Nice bunt by Sean Chacon, deading it out there on the dirt. He thought about it, but it would have been awful close in second. Last thing you want to do is try and get the lead runner, miss him, and then you got first and second, nobody out. Don't give him any extra outs.
So now an RBI chance for rookie Clint Barmas. And somebody was telling Damian Miller to at least think hard about second base. Listen.
Yeah, I believe that's Capuano, but Damian had to play in front of him. Unlike the first baseman, third baseman, they can't see where the runners are. They need to hear somebody telling them where to throw it. Damian knew what to do with it.
Now you will hear very clearly, and the pitcher will always follow the lead, Bill. If a bunt goes back to the pitcher, the catcher will always tell the pitcher where to throw the ball.
No doubt.
Because as you say, he's blind to where the runner is.
And just a little bit of a fielding tip. If you hear 2-2-2 and you bobble the ball just a little bit, don't throw it to second base. Get the sure out. A lot of times the catcher's not going to have time to change his mind. Say, no, don't throw it to second, throw it to first. You bobble the ball, make sure you get one out. Don't make matters worse.
Two of the best when the chips are down right here in this ball game. And a former Brewer as well, Craig Counsell. Barmas with that ground out in the first inning is showing a little bit of his human side. What I mean when I say that, he is now hitless in his last 12 at bats and 1 for his last 20.
Every hitter's going to go through that. Just a matter how he handles it.
Breaking ball right in on his hands. Jeff Cirillo puts it to bed.
Oh, Barma is very much like Grady Clark, right on top of the plate. Likes the ball inside, but Capuano that time able to get it in there enough to pop him up. That's a slider grip right there, and you can see how the ball ended up down on the trademark. Barma's not able to get the big part of the bat on it.
So the young man now 1 for his last 21. Still hitting over 340 this year, though. Huge swing. It goes into the catcher's mitt. Strike 1 on Aaron Miles. He was, as you saw, also on that list. One of the best hitters with runners in scoring position.
And hitter is a very accurate term for this guy. He's hitting .310. His on base percentage is .318. Doesn't believe in the base on balls.
Well, Barmes and Miles combined, Bill, have walked 9 times this year. Miles, as you mentioned, just twice.
Well, if you don't walk and you're at the top of the order, you better hit .330.
That one runs in. Did he go? Yes, he did. Paul Nauert, the first base umpire.
Yes, he did.
No balls and 2 strikes to count. Oh, he looked like he chased again. Let's see. He did not. That's a good pitch, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Up in the strike zone. I did like that, have that up and in, not out and away. And it looks like he might have went on that one as well.
Is that because a guy like Miles has the ability to slap it into right field when it's up there?
Yeah, up and away, easier to get to than down and up and in.
Goes down and in with the breaking ball, and Capuano works out of it. Moving you forward. Chris Capuano leads things off. Rolls that one foul. Davey Nelson right on it. Dave Nelson, first base coach for the Brewers. Rich Donnelly in the third base coach's box. Part of a coaching staff that we have got to know very well, and one of the best out there. We're biased, of course, but they're tireless.
Yes, they are. They work very hard, each and every one of them, out here early every day. They're not going to go up to a player and say, you know what, let's go work on base running, or let's go out into the cage or work on some infield. But if one of the players wants that kind of work, they're there to do it.
And there have been coaches that have coached with this organization and many other, but this one as well, that haven't always gotten here early and made themselves available for the betterment of the players. Not this staff.
That's right.
I don't think they would have gotten hired in the first place by Ned Yost. 2-2 the count. Cappy again rolls it foul. You saw the numbers: 2 hits and 18 at bats. 8 hits in his major league career, 143 big league hitter. Was it in Pittsburgh that he had that sacrifice fly?
Yes, it was. Yep, to left field.
He goes down this time. Fastball up and out of the zone. Chacon, who is a guy, and if you follow baseball, you realize this, that the Rockies decided last year they were going to put in their bullpen and he was going to be their closer. Well, he pitched in 66 games, and yes, he had 35 saves, but he was 1-9. He had 9 blowed saves, and in those 35 saves had a 7.11 ERA. It was a tough experiment.
Yeah, that's a result, or that's a function of a lot of the walks. I mean, the control problems that Chacon will have from time to time, and you just can't do that in the 9th inning with a lead. Tough enough to save games when you're throwing strikes, let alone walking batters.
Brady Clark, I hope that the votes are going out for him. Amongst the league leaders in runs scored and on base percentage. He's about to be 0 for 2 in this game, though. Chacon does things in a very funky manner with his delivery,
yeah,
too.
A bit of a choppy delivery. The wind up, he stops and starts and stops and starts, and right there, it looks like he's going to put the foot down. He keeps it up. He bounces well in the back leg. I think that's why he does that. I mean, pitchers are taught that the longer you can bounce in that back leg and then fire forward, the tendency is you're going to stay back much better. Every pitcher has a different way of doing that. Chacon's way is to bring the leg down a little bit, keep it up, and then fire toward the plate.
You know what he almost does too is he's coming toward the plate, Bill, to slow it down more at the last moment. He just about touches the dirt in front of the rubber like Rob Nen used to. If you remember that, Ned did it for the same reason.
Yeah, Ned actually put his foot down twice. He would pick his foot up, put it down, tap it, and then go and then put his foot down finally and throw the pitch. But yeah, they both do it for the same reason, to stay back. Pitchers have to stay back just like hitters have to stay back.
Otherwise you give up all your power.
Yep, all your power. You can't throw the ball with any velocity.
High fastball. He got away with it. Cirillo pops it up behind the pitcher's mound, and Barmas makes the play. The Brewers put away 1-2-3 by right-hander Sean Chacon. We're scoreless. Glad to have you back with us at Miller Park. Scoreless ball game, as you can see. Not even really sure what to say about that. Is that a banana?
Looks like a banana, partner.
Did you put a banana in my tailpipe? Let's see if we can answer our Aflac trivia question. See if you can answer it. Who are the only two Rockies to have 50 doubles in a single season? 50. Got to think Todd Helton is one as he digs in. Changeup dives out of the zone to Helton.
I would imagine Helton. Dante Bichette, perhaps. Remember Dante, former Brewer, former Angel.
Always an Angel.
How about Walker?
Larry Walker as well.
I'm going to say Dante Bichette. I remember one year he had a bunch of them.
Swung on and missed. 2-1 the count. Took another changeup there. Well, just another ho-hum year for Todd Helton. And again, look at the career he has had. Fastball misses in. Actually, when you look at Todd hitting .299, it's below average. He's scuffled a bit of late. One for his last 20.
Very patient hitter. He's always has been. He's got an on-base percentage almost at .440. Outstanding.
Cirillo with a nice play, puts him away.
Todd Helton, you don't hear a lot about Todd Helton, but year after year, 300, driving in 100 runs. Doesn't hit the home runs that he did as a younger player, but still in all, big-time run producer.
You know, Todd Helton is the one player, too, where, you know, you talk about Coors Field and the Coors effect and how it makes players a lot better offensively. I mean, think of, you know, current and recent Brewers. Jeff Cirillo had amazing offensive years there. He did here too, but put up bigger slugging numbers there. Jeffrey Hammonds cashed in a huge year at Coors Field. But Todd Helton, I think, is a guy that should not be categorized in that group.
Well, Todd Helton, you know, he puts up the same numbers whether it's at Coors Field or on the road. I mean, very consistent. Some of these guys, some that you mentioned that have had some monster years with the Colorado Rockies, did most of their damage at home.
I'll take this young man, Holiday, for example. He digs into the box, hitting .360 at Coors Field and .185 on the road. And he's not alone. The Rockies hit .317 at home to lead the majors. On the road, .234, 26th in Major League Baseball.
Well, partner, they've only won 3 road games this year.
That's true.
You're not going to do
one of them yesterday.
Yeah, you're not going to do a whole lot of hitting with those kind of numbers. They're winning.
Maybe we're home and everything just sounds a little bit crisper, but it just sounds and looks like Capuano's throwing a little bit harder tonight.
Damian Miller's making him sound pretty good because he's only throwing about 88 miles an hour.
Off speed, had him out front. Wes Helms. All 3 of them come over there. Somebody get out of the way. That's a case where, and you love his aggressiveness and his athletic ability, pitcher maybe needs to stay out of the way.
Yeah, he's got to get out of there. I think he muddied up the waters a bit over there by the Brewer dugout. But Helms had a long way to go. They've got Holiday played to pull. You see, he slides down there, and I think confused Wes Helms and Damian Miller. If anybody catches that ball, it's got to be Wes Helms. And I don't think he was for sure knew where he was.
So the count is full on Holiday, doubled in his first at bat. Got him looking. Holiday thought it was high.
That's a big man. I don't know how high it can be without being a strike. And he's very tall. Capuano with a four-seam fastball. That might have been high. Check it out. That was high. That was high. He had a case. That's around the letters. That ball's up.
That's all he said. That was up. So Green looks at a pitch in a similar spot. He walked back in the second inning. That one is fouled back to the screen. First 7 full seasons, talking about Todd Helton. 246 homers, 825 RBIs. I mean, your first 7 big league seasons, you have 825 RBIs as that one misses in. More walks than strikeouts, Bill.
Yeah, makes good contact. Yeah, he's always had a good eye at the plate. We talked about his on-base percentage. Well over 430. I would imagine in this youth movement for the Colorado Rockies that if you're the Brewer pitching staff and you see Todd Helton up there and with some men on base, you got a base open, you're not going to throw to Todd Helton. You're going to make one of the young guys beat you. And I think the Brewers aren't alone in that. Most teams are probably doing that. And as a result, I think Todd Helton is going to walk an awful lot this year.
Out toward short it goes. JJ with the play. And the Colorado Rockies go down 1, 2, 3. If you can get through that man in the lineup, you've done good things. And let's see if he fits into our Aflac trivia question.
Aflac!
Talking about 50 doubles, a magic number in baseball. We're the only 2 Rockies to have 50 doubles in a single season. Wow, isn't that great?
Yeah.
What a great question.
So it wasn't Dante Bichette, was it? Jeff Cirillo.
Jeff Jenkins drilled with a fastball right above his knee.
Ouch. And one thing about Sean Chacon, he can cruise along and look like a will beater for a while. All of a sudden something might happen and he may lose it. That's got to hurt Jenkins. Not sure where that got him, but no chance to get out of the way of that pitch. It's a tough way to get on base. Bang, right on the side of the knee. That's all bone there, partner. That's going to hurt. Just above the knee. That'll feel good in the morning.
Oh boy, that first step out of bed. Oh man.
Down. On the floor.
That first crawl out of bed. Strike 1 to Carlos Lee. By the way, back to that question, Cirillo and Helton in 2000 became the first pair of National League teammates to have 50 doubles in a season in National League history as Carlos breaks his bat. Todd Helton's all over the list when you talk about doubles for Rockies. No surprise here. And there's Dante Bichette and Larry Walker.
Yeah, 48. I remember one year. It was one of the first years the Brewers were in the National League, obviously, 1998. And talking to Dante Bichette, he racked up some big years offensively. Home runs, RBIs, 2 base hits. He had a pretty good arm in the outfield. Had an outstanding career, did Dante Bichette, and so has Jeff Cirillo.
When Rillo did it in 2000, he became the first player in big league history to have 40 or 5 or more doubles in both leagues. That one is high. Did the 46 double thing with the Brewers twice in 96 and 97, then the 53 with the Rockies in 2000. I think it's always important to remember with Jeff. We talk about how he scuffles as an older player trying to resurrect his career. Lee belts that one down the line. Keep it fair. It's foul.
He waited back nicely on that curveball, didn't he? My big lollipop curveball. Chacon, we mentioned, will change speeds on that curveball. Early Nican will flip it up, slow it down just a little bit. Carlos all over it and just barely hooks foul. And with 2 strikes, he'll speed it up a little bit and try and bounce it on the plate.
That was a great shot a moment ago, Bill. He's such a big guy, and it's amazing how the weight can go forward, the foot can come down, but the hands stay back.
Hands stay back, you still give yourself a chance. Carlos does that very well. Well, the first strike of the at-bat, Carlos broke yet another bat. I was talking to Tony Miliotto, the Brewers equipment manager. Said Carlos broke a dozen bats on the last road trip. They actually had to fly in some bats to him in Minnesota. Breaks an awful lot of bats.
Popped up right side, breaking bats, and still getting used to switching from the American League to the National League. And we talked to Carlos about that. Has it been a challenge? Has it been a struggle switching leagues?
Release point, what the tendencies to pitch, when behind the count, when they're ahead on the count. It's a lot different because, you used to know who's coming from the bullpen. Now you like searching, it's kind of an adventure for me.
It always is an advantage to a pitcher the first time around when a hitter doesn't know what he's got. And Carlos has been dealing with that all year so far. That'll change though. Doesn't take these guys long to get a beat on what the other pitchers are trying to do to him up at the plate. And if you can hit in any league.
Well, he certainly got all over a familiar face Saturday night. He knocked Brad Radke around the ballpark a couple of times.
Yes, he did.
Not talking about a slouch in Brad Radke either. Great command pitcher, great changeup. Threw a changeup one too many to Carlos and left it up.
Yep. Yeah, Radke, one of the more consistent right-handers in all of baseball in the last 10 years. You bet.
They got him this time. We'll see next time. Damian hits that one in the left center field. Let's see how far it goes. To the wall. Now let's see if it scores a run. They're going to stop it. Rich Donnelly, clearly realizing that he has a man running with a knee that had just been pounded by a pitch, did the right thing.
Yeah, and with one out, you don't want to have an out at the plate. The fans are giving Donnelly the business, but I think Jenkins would have been an easy out at home plate had he sent him around. And Damian Miller hammering that pitch into the gap in left center as a fastball. Chacon struck him out on a curveball his first time up. Nice short stroke into the gap, and it's a foot race after that. Jenkins held at third base. Well, Colorado did a nice job with a cutoff and relay in that situation. Holding Jenkins at third base. Yeah, he's not running at full speed.
Bill Hall must cash in now. Slow curveball misses outside. Damian, we mentioned it, Bill, that right tricep in the shoulder area. Good to see him drive through the baseball right there.
Says he still feels it, but not enough to keep him out of the lineup.
And he tweaked it hitting, folks, not catching or throwing. Slow bender, 1-1. All grounded to short back in the second inning. Lines that one foul up over the head of our camera well down there. Everyone's all right.
Well, it's obvious what Chacon is trying to do to Bill Hall, flipping up 3 consecutive curveballs. And if he walks him, so be it. He's got the bases loaded in the bottom part of the order coming up.
You all right, Keith? All right.
He's quick as a cat. He's all right. He's been down there a long time. That's not the first line drive he's dodged.
1-2 the count. Boy, did they have him figured out. Look at him playing Hall in center field to the opposite field. And he tries to shoot it there. Not everyone does that, Bill. Talking about Dustin Moore, he's playing him, to me, exactly where you should play Bill Hall.
Yeah, Bill Hall has been trying to shoot the ball to the opposite field, center field, right center all season. That's why he's had that success. Look at all the room in the gap in left center.
Is it the slow curveball one more time?
A lot of room down the left field line, too.
Fastball outside. I'll tell you, Bill, that slow curve, should he hang it, he can absolutely kill the way the shift is set up in the outfield.
Yeah, if he hangs the curveball and that ball goes into left center, Bill Hall's going to see how far he can run. That's a triple down there and down the left field line.
The 2-2 on the ground into center field. One run is in. They're sending Miller on around. The throw from Moore is not in time. What a pretty piece of hitting.
Yeah, and that's why he's in that lineup. Junior Spivey's been really scuffling at the plate. And it's nice to be able to bring a guy in and play second base. Bill Hall hadn't been scuffling at all. He's swinging the bat as well as he has as a Brewer. 3 curveballs in a row and then 3 fastballs in a row. This time Bill Hall bounces it through center field with the infield drawn in. That's a dangerous proposition, bringing that infield in with 1 out and second and third. 2 runs in for the Brewers. That's a nice base hit.
Nearly got picked off.
It really did look like Chacon was attempting to pitch around Bill Hall, throwing him curveballs. Got ahead 1 and 2 and then made a mistake with the fastball.
And Jeff Jenkins, instead of having to test that knee, was able to walk home with that hit. Boy, he's got a big lead over there. Helton hung onto the ball. And as Hall was creeping up, he popped another tag on him. It's bugging him, isn't it? I guess that's to be understood.
Yeah, well, you're going to put ice on it, your day's over pretty much. Just got to walk it off.
They're worried about Billy. He has 2 stolen bases. And he hasn't been caught. Certainly has the ability to swipe bags. I'll tell you, Bill, he has all the same abilities we've seen, but he is so much more refined as a hitter this year.
No doubt.
I mean, it's night and day. Am I off?
No, you're not. I mean, very rarely do you see him really, cheat and try and pull the ball out of the ballpark. His approach has been very consistent, just like Jeff Cirillo. Jeff Cirillo has that right field stroke. Early in the year, I think Jeff was trying to pull the ball a little bit too much. Now he's thinking right field all the time, and that's what Billy's been doing all season. And even last year, when Bill Hall was really swinging the bat well, very rarely would he pull it. Everything to right field, center field, staying on top of the baseball. And he's been doing it for over 10 years.
In the walks, too, he's going deeper into counts now.
When you're thinking right field, you're, by definition, you're waiting a little bit longer, and I would imagine the longer you wait, the less chance you have of swinging a pitch out of the strike zone. You have a lot longer to take a look at it.
That one gets away from Green. Hall doesn't have to swipe it at all. Should be a wild pitch. We'll wait for the official ruling.
Yeah, that one not even close. I mean, that was in the area where Jenkins got hit in the knee. Sometimes he's not even close to the strike zone. That one about 2 feet, 3 feet away from home plate.
Two and 1 the count on West. Pitches high, 3-1. Chacon drops the throwback from the catcher Green. There are times, and this is just me sitting up here, where his body language isn't really the most appealing if I'm watching from sitting up here.
Gets frustrated with himself. He loses his focus. That's what we were talking about. I mean, something may happen. He loses his focus, and he becomes very hittable.
Rolled out to third. That's Atkins.
Well, this coming Sunday, the first 10,000 kids 16 and under will get a Junior Spivey mini bobblehead. Compliments of Century Foods. For ticket information, call 414-902-4000. Junior Spivey mini bobblehead day. We have one up here. Did you get yours?
I did.
Or did you give it away already?
I will.
You have a tendency of doing that a little bit too soon. I'm a big fan of the mini bobble. It doesn't take up much room. You still get the same effect. It's a nice bobblehead.
Could I have yours?
No.
When you're done showing it?
No, I got a little collection at home. I would imagine that if you wanted another one, I can get you one.
I really like this. Runner goes to third. It's Hall. He can walk in.
We weren't even holding him on. I mean, didn't even really think about him a whole lot. And the third baseman, Garrett Atkins, never made a move to cover the bag. He didn't even move, not one step towards third base.
So now they'll face the pitcher. Chris Capuano with 2 outs, a chance to help himself. In this inning, it was Bill Hall's 2 RBI single. Jeff Jenkins hit around the knee to lead the inning off. Carlos Lee flied to right. Damian Miller doubled. They stopped Jenkins at third, but then Hall finished the deed. Rolled out to the right side. Capuano is erased, but the Brewers pick up a pair. Billy Hall. Tell you what, he's getting better just about every day. It's time now for tonight's Carsoup.com's Email the Booth. And the question is, it's from Roger Sundquist of Waukesha. Can you show us the grips on the slider, the curve, the changeup, and the fastball for Capuano?
It's easy. He throws a curveball. He throws a slider, a changeup, and a fastball. He really doesn't throw a cut fastball. He doesn't throw a curveball.
Okay, so we can eliminate that one.
He throws a slider. He throws a changeup, and he throws a 2- and 4-seam fastball. You know, Doug Davis throws the curveball and the cut fastball. Dougie.
Quickly 0-2. On the ground out to short. A rare error, just the second this season by the rookie shortstop J.J. Hardy.
And the last thing you want to see, you don't want to see an error at any time, but particularly when you lead off an inning after the team just scored 2 runs. This one rose right up the glove. He had his head down. He did everything right but catch the baseball.
So now a runner on first. And a swing and a miss. We will get back to specifically showing those grips for Roger of Waukesha, who asked that question. Carsoup.com. And we may even back it up with examples.
There you go.
Garrett Atkins certainly got the scouting report on Chris Capuano. He is about 1 step off the bag. All right, 2.
1.5. That's one giant step.
I mean, he is close.
And his first move is going to be back.
Hit fair down the third base line it goes. Kicks off the short wall, so Carlos is right on top of it, but he bobbles it. Now he gets it into the cutoff man or to Jeff Cirillo. So runners are on second and third.
Isn't it amazing how an error just kill you in every inning, particularly a leadoff error? It should have been one out, nobody on. As it stands, it's second and third and nobody out. And Chris Capuano in big trouble. See Dustin Moore going out and hooking a fastball away from and right down the line, very similar to the ball that Holiday hit early in the game. Big tall guy, likes to get the arms extended, and he can pull a pitch on the outer half of the plate and hit it hard.
So now with runners on second and third, a base open and the pitcher on deck. Chance for Luis Gonzalez to get his club right back in the game. Luis hitting .275 this year. Walked his first time up and he fouls it off. A 25-year-old, and we mentioned this team's average age is just 27. Youngest team in the big leagues. And he fouls that one off. He's in the hole 0-2. And like a lot of younger hitters, his success comes against guys from the left side, hitting about .390 against left-handed pitching, $1.50 against righties.
Yep.
That was a fastball, but we are going to walk you through the different grips after we show that last fastball for Chris Capuano.
Yeah, not sure what he was looking for. That was a fastball right down the middle. And Capuano, here you see the slider grip. Notice the middle finger right on the seam, and he releases the baseball with his hand on the side of the ball. That gives it the rotation. There's a four-seam fastball. You got both seams. Your fingers are on both seams and the ball goes straight and a little bit harder.
A safety squeeze, and now just running back, no hurry, they get him. That wasn't a true sacrifice, or I should say suicide. That was more of a safety squeeze. Chacon dropped it down, but Atkins took off from third as soon as he got it down.
Well, the problem with a safety squeeze is the runner's discretion whether he can go, and that certainly was not a bunt. That would have scored a run. Capuano, a very good athlete. He and Wes Overmule are probably the best athletes on the pitching staff for the Brewers. He bunted for a base hit. The hitter has to get the ball down, but the runner has to take in consideration where the bunt is. It's not an automatic go to home plate. He takes off, and that's not even close. That's not a good decision down there at third base by Atkins. You got to know you can't score on that bunt. It's got to be down the line a lot more than that.
Trying to get by the rookie Barmas. They called that a ball. And Capuano's hot. First base umpire Paul Nauert. That is the first ball called on Capuano this year.
Well, what he's saying is that his shoulder looked like it was getting ready to go to home plate. And once the shoulder starts tucking, you've got to go home. That's what he's saying. That's the first time that's been called. Paul Nauert, he looks like he was tipped off. I would imagine Dave Collins.
You bet. You nailed it, Bill.
Dave Collins had him ready for that. He said, keep an eye on this guy. He's got a good move. He's got a balk move. And watch that front shoulder. If he tucks that front shoulder and he goes to home, it's a balk. Guaranteed, Dave Collins is all in the ear of Paul Nauert. And I don't know if he did tuck that front shoulder. I mean, I think that he was looking for it, and he was really trying to nitpick out there on the mound. The first ball called on Chris Capuano in 86 pickoff throws. That's a ticky-tack call out there at first base.
And it's a run.
Yes, it is.
and an assist, and there's no doubt about it. He was a coach here on this staff, Dave Collins, and a very smart man. And there is no doubt about that he gets some lobbying points there.
Yeah, he was probably right in the beginning of the ball game. First inning, he goes out there and saying to Nauert, keep an eye on Capuano. Watch the shoulder, watch the foot. He's got a balk move to first base.
Chacon bopping back and forth on that move. I don't know if he twisted something, but it was when he tried to get back to the bag, and then the balk was called, so we couldn't keep our eye on it. Dave Collins noticed it and called for a trainer.
You know, every time Capuano goes over to first base, everybody really concentrates on that front leg. They concentrate on the leg, the knee. If the front foot goes behind the pitching rubber, he's got to go home. And that is a very fine line sometimes with a left-hander with a good move at first base. But this time, forget about the leg. They're talking about the shoulder. Now it's saying he tucked the shoulder as if he was getting ready to deliver the ball to home plate and go into first, in his mind trying to deceive the runner, and that's a ball.
Is he also speaking too after the tuck, Bill, that as he threw the ball he opened up as if his body was going home as well to follow it?
I because imagine maybe.
Because
but that's okay.
He immediately pointed at the shoulder. He made clear why he was calling it. I tell you, Chacon coming out of this game. Well, more on that. Watch it again.
He's saying that the shoulder started to drive toward first base as if he was going to go home with it, and then change his mind. And regardless, it's a very, very close call. And
now
Chacon's
amongst
done.
all that, he's done.
Chacon's done. And noticeably upset.
And again, it was going back to the bag on that pickoff move by Chris Capuano.
It's a tough break for Sean Chacon, who was throwing the baseball pretty well, but good news from Milwaukee. They're able to get into a bullpen that has really struggled this year.
Former Brewer Jamie Wright, who will pitch as a starter in this game in a couple of days, on so that you don't burn a position player to run for the pitcher here, correct?
Right, absolutely. Yeah, one of the keys to the series for Milwaukee is get into that bullpen early, and because of that injury to Sean Chacon, that's exactly what's going to happen here tonight.
But to his credit, Bill, whether it was the right call or not, Nauert was totally confident in why he called that balk.
Well, you better be with a man at third base. There can't be any question in your mind if you're going to call that.
Let's see if we can see what Chacon might have done again. Oh, yeah.
Oh, he jammed his ankle. Looked like he might have twisted his ankle. The right ankle looked like it slid into first base.
Changeup is high, 3-1 the count. Varmus 0 for 2, and as we've mentioned, as a rookie hitting .345, but 1 for his last 21. Driven toward right field. Jenkins easing back on the warning track. He runs it down. A balk scores the Rockies' first run of the game. Boy, they had their eye on Capuano.
In Milwaukee, the Brewers lead the Rockies 2-1. While the Rockies dugout has been a busy place over the past weekend, it's been sort of manager by committee. As Darren mentioned earlier, manager Clint Hurdle had to go back to Denver to attend to his daughter. And so on Saturday, Jamie Quirk took over the helm. But on Saturday night, Quirk had to leave the team and head to Kansas City because his son was graduating on Sunday. So that meant that Dwayne Espy took over the managerial duties for the Rockies on Sunday. Quirk is back at the helm until Hurdle gets back tonight. Now, guys, I have a trivia question for you. It's not sponsored by Aflac or anything, but who is the first Q battery in the history of baseball? I gave you a hint there. Any ideas?
Well, first we have to be actually listening to you to answer the question.
The first Q battery in Major League Baseball.
Quisenberry and Quirk.
There you go. Nailed it. 1980, April 13th. Jamie Quirk with the Royals caught Dan Quisenberry against the Detroit Tigers.
I know that because Dan Quisenberry was a very tough customer out there, one of those submariners.
Now, Bob, could you use a Q battery in a flashlight, or where would you use a Q battery?
That's interesting. No, they're D batteries, Darren. You know, big old D's. Put about 3 of them in there.
There was a lot of D batteries.
And we'll confess to you, I had taken off my headset as Blaine Neal comes in, asked Bill a quick question just as you asked us our all-important question.
I know you were checking out our new refrigerator, weren't you?
So I apologize.
Yeah.
I heard you though, Bob. I wasn't listening.
Stuck with you.
I wasn't listening to Darren. There's a role reversal.
Thank you, Bobby. Blaine Neal comes on to go to work for Sean Chacon.
As we mentioned, this bullpen for the Rockies, they have struggled. I mean, they've only had 5 saves this year. Now the closer, at least the guy who they thought was going to close, is out with labrum surgery. He's on a disabled list. Now it's Brian Fuentes is the closer. Left-hander, the only left-hander they have in the bullpen.
Line on the starter, Chacon. 4 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs earned, couple of walks, couple of strikeouts. He is done. Through 68 pitches, 34 strikes. Strike to Clark, so that's right down the middle, actually. 1 of each. Capuano so far, 5 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, and is unearned because of the balk. 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. Talking about leadoff hitters in this game and guys that have made a huge difference. You know, we compare Barmes to Hardy, but offensively it's Barmes and Clark that are leading the way.
Yeah, both of them at the top of the order doing a nice job. Brady Clark is going to walk a whole lot more than Barmes. Neither one strikes out a whole lot. I guess if you get on base, it really doesn't matter how you do it. Brady Clark walks, hit batters, and base hits.
And he hits it out to him. And he says, I don't want you catching up with me in any number, so I will erase you. And Brady is 0 for 3. I mean, I don't know if he actually said that. Probably not fair to put words into his mouth.
No.
Clark heads back in.
I would imagine that's what he's thinking, though.
Jeff Cirillo doubled back in the first inning. Gives him a 5-game hitting streak. It also gives him 16 hits in the month of May. And this month, Jeff hitting about 380 as he takes one that bounces in there. Jeff hit 191 in April and is hitting nearly 200 points higher this month. In on his hands. Late break for sure for Dustin Moore, but he compensates by hauling it in. Fortunate, I think, for Neal. I've always found it to be a tough assignment when you're sitting down there cold in the bullpen and you've got to come in an injury, and sure, you're given all the time you need, but I would always argue that a pitcher's going to cut himself short a few throws because he's in the middle of all the action warming up.
Yep, and everybody wants him to get going, and umpires try not to pressure a guy, but you can't help but try and hurry a little bit.
And he had some time in the bullpen before coming out doing very, very good work. Clint Barmes may be getting some all-star votes. Bill, hitters have timing mechanism, pitchers have timing mechanisms. So do defenders. And looking at the super rookie, it's just a snap of a finger that puts him right into action as he plays short out there. And we captured something just before the play against Brady Clark.
Well, you got to get into that athletic position. You got to have some type of a triggering mechanism, and I guess that's just a nervous habit for him. And whatever it may take to snap him into action.
I like that. They're working back in the tape room in the truck, by the way.
You know what? It may not be anything. It might just be a piece of gum on his thumb. Who knows?
No, I'm not going with that. You know I won't accept that.
You've got the conspiracy theory going, don't you? All the time. There's always an angle.
Always trying to thrust conspiracies onto the air. and make sure that at least once a month the bench is clear. Those are the 2 goals that I have.
They haven't been very successful this year.
There's been no situation.
No, there hasn't. Just make one up.
A snapping of the fingers there. Quick jerk of the baseball pants to tighten them up. Capuano over to Helms. Well, I would imagine if we were to isolate fielders, it would be a study in, as you say, Bill, most importantly, just getting into the athletic position, and I would imagine they all do it differently.
Yeah, you got to be on the balls of your feet as soon as that ball is in the hitting zone, so you can go either way. You can't be flat-footed. You always have to have movement, infield, outfield, behind the plate. The athletic position, every player, every position in every sport gets in it one way or another before the action takes place.
That's a slider for a strike to Todd Helton. Another solid outing for Cappy. Swung and missed. That may have been that changeup. Not quite sure. He throws that changeup that runs away.
I haven't seen too many of them tonight.
Let's see if this is one.
He's got one of those 3-finger changeups. The grip on a changeup is 3 fingers. I think that's a slider. A little bit too hard for a changeup. But you don't know. It's very tough to tell sometimes between the changeup and the slider for Chris.
The 1-2. That was a high slider. That was a strikeout.
Not going to see that very often with Todd Helton. The guy doesn't strike out a whole lot. Able to get him to chase a high fastball, or a high slider, I should say, and out of the strike zone. Todd Helton upset with himself. He knew it was out of the zone.
So Helton strikes out. Now that was a changeup. No? 0-1 the count. He's got me baffled tonight, and I think it's working against the Rockies as well.
Well, it was. It was 78 miles an hour. That's a changeup.
That is a fastball, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, the slider is going to be 84, 82, somewhere around that velocity. Changeup, 80 and less.
Brewers clinging to a 2-1 lead. Fastball rolled out to Helms. Had a big shift on, so Cappy's got to get over there. Wes was way away from that first base bag. Nice defensive setup. Come on, El Caballo, let's get it started here.
Bottom 6, Brewers with a 1-run lead here at Miller Park, and tomorrow is Walls of Honor night as the Brewers honor Wisconsin big leaguers, the Negro Leagues, and the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League. For complete details, call 414-902-4000.
A moment ago, we saw Jeff Jenkins walking through that dugout. And after getting hit by that pitch a couple of innings ago, he still looks pretty uncomfortable. Hoping he can get his team a victory, then get some ice immediately on that knee.
You got to keep it moving. I mean, the Brewers have an exercise bike in the area in the dugout. Up the tunnel just a little bit where they keep the bats. The guys take some swings off the tee into the net. During the game, there's an exercise bike there. The minute you sit down and just leave it alone, that's when it's going to start stiffening up. Baseball saying, you heard many times, you got to just walk it off.
Heck, we still tell our kids that, don't we?
Yeah. Fall off the bike, walk it off. You'll be all right.
Little snap of the finger, and it's lined into center field. That's Carlos's second time reaching tonight. It's his first hit.
Still got that gum on his fingers. I didn't see the snap, did you?
He did it just before.
Did he?
We captured it live.
Off the end of the bat, he's got good plate coverage on that swing, and Carlos Lee with a base hit. Leadoff single for the Brewers.
Gone. Popped up, back up short. Barma says, I've got it, and he calls off Moore, the center fielder.
performance reminds you a lot of David Eckstein. Constant motion, isn't it?
He is, and he has a similar look facially to him too, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. I'm not with you a lot of your lookalikes.
I am so excited. You actually are with me on one.
I'm with you on that one, partner. That's a good one.
Winner. Yes. Good night, everyone. I can go home.
Oh, yeah.
I try to sell you all the time on lookalikes. Trying to remember who it was we had on this last trip. Ryan Church in Washington looked just like a young Will Clark.
Okay.
And you were so against that.
No. I mean, I'm not trying to be difficult, but I just don't see it. It's okay.
Bill Hall drives it deep left field. That's off the wall. They're going to stop Carlos at third. Have a night, Bill Hall.
Now, we were talking a couple of weeks ago how it's been going to be very difficult for Ned Yost to keep that guy on the bench. Well, he hasn't kept him on the bench. He's playing. Played a lot on the road trip, did very well. The junior Spivey's struggling offensively. Hitting Bill Hall some at bats here tonight from second base. That's a fastball, a little bit of a sink on it. Look how quiet the hands are. Not a lot of movement. Just drops the head of it. And a line drive over Holliday's head for a double. Seeing the ball very well. Carlos Lee recognizing the fact that that's over the left fielder's head. He's not going to stop until he's told to, and second and third and one out. Oh, that's a nice swing from Bill Hall. Amazing how, you don't try and hit the ball hard. The ball just jumps off your bat. It's like when you overthrow on the mound. You don't throw as hard. The velocity's down when you try too hard. It's called muscling up. Check it out. Watch how nice and soft the front foot picks it up, sets it down. Not a lot of movement in that bat, and the head of the bat directly to the baseball. Beautiful. You know how you know you've got a nice swing when after you finish your swing, you're on balance. When you're not off balance, you're not, you're not pulling your head and falling off toward third base. You're not leaning toward first. It's a good swing when you make contact with the baseball and you are perfectly balanced. And that's what Bill Hall just did.
Neal threw a pitch outside, and immediately Jamie Quirk, the acting manager, popped out of the dugout. He's got Jay Witasick warming in the bullpen, the veteran relief pitcher. He's going to go get it. Neal not happy about that at all. We'll step aside. Witasick is on. We'll reset the situation right after this. So after throwing ball one to Wes Helms, Lane Neal is taken out of this game, and Jay Witasick comes on out of the bullpen. The veteran right-hander who has had some good runs in his career. Bottom line is, Bill, because he has good stuff.
Yeah, he does have good stuff. And, 5 walks, 13 strikeouts. Has done a nice job keeping the ball in the ballpark. Good heavy sinking fastball. He'll throw a slider. Interesting move by Jamie Quirk because Neal wasn't throwing the ball that poorly. I mean, he threw the baseball very well, and it looked like Lane Neal was a bit surprised that he got taken out. And I think Carlos Lee broke his bat on his single to center, but I'll tell you what, Lane Neal had some good stuff today.
An RBI opportunity for Wes Helms. And he's ahead in the count 1-0. Didn't mean to, and he rolls that one foul. Right-hander Witasick broke into the big leagues back in 1996. Neither team doing anything special in that category. He did so with the A's. Pitched for the Royals, the Padres, Yankees in 01, Giants, Padres, and now the Rockies. Hard breaking ball bounces in there.
Big at bat right here for the Brewers with Wes Helms up. If Wes is not able to get it done, they'll probably walk J.J. Hardy, and then you have the pitcher spot coming up. So Wes is the guy that you figure has to get it done in this situation. Infield's in. Hit something hard, get on top of it, hit it hard on the ground somewhere.
All off second, Lee off third. And the 2-1 is popped up right side. Let's see if there's room for Helton. There is not. Wes 0 for 2 tonight. Started the season 2 for his first 12. And was playing in very limited action. I mean, rarely, if ever, was he playing early in the season. But since then, picked up 5 hits in his last 17 at bats and much more productive.
Getting back-to-back starts. Started yesterday with Johan Santana on the mound for the Twins, giving Overbay a couple of days off.
Slider misses outside. Boy, that is a heavy pitch.
Yes, it is. I mean, very late breaking slider. He throws from a bit of a low 3/4 or a high 3/4 delivery. Right-handed hitters really have to concentrate on keeping that shoulder tucked, drive it to the opposite field.
On the inside corner. He came in the back door with that slider.
And not exactly where you anticipate him going. You don't have him by design in that location. You don't throw too many sliders on purpose right there. You can see Green having to reach back over for it. That was a pretty good pitch. You know, the backup slider will freeze a hitter most of the time. Wes Helms hoping that went off the plate, but it wasn't.
And as suggested, they will intentionally walk J.J. Hardy, who will reach twice tonight now. Both of them courtesy walks. Jaywood Tossick giving a lot of credit for his development as a relief pitcher to when he spent some time with former big league pitcher Rick Sutcliffe, who served as an instructor for the Padres. He said he helped me more than anything with the mental part of the game. He said I was working with a puzzle, but it was almost like I was missing some pieces. And he helped me find those pieces.
That's what holds back a lot of big leaguers. You wouldn't be in the major leagues without talent. It's just how you handle it mentally. It's going to be a very tough game emotionally out there.
Well, we know one thing. He's got to throw a strike here. And we also know Capuano handles the bat very well. Bases loaded. He gives that one a ride to center field. It's playable. Dustin Moore is under it. He puts it away. The score remains 2-1. I guess that was a good move by Jamie Quirk. Number is part of our Toyota game summary. Thank goodness for Bill Hall and his timely hitting. A balk scoring the lone run in this game for the Rockies. Those are the numbers. Bill Schroeder will talk about the pictures as we take a look back in this game.
Sean Chacon giving a pitch to Bill Hall. 3 straight curveballs and then 3 straight fastballs. And Bill Hall with one swing in the back, giving the Brewers a 2-0 lead. Chris Capuano, good move over to first base. Man at third. A balk called, saying his shoulder was moving in a very deceptive fashion. And that's how the Colorado Rockies were able to score their lone run. A balk with a man at third base.
And here we stand, a 2-1 game. It's the 7th inning now. And we're certainly glad you've hung around with us tonight. Bob Brainerd joining us. Bill Schroeder, and I'm Darren.
Yeah, Brewers with a golden opportunity in the bottom of the 6th inning to add on.
High fly ball, deep left field. Carlos going back. He's got room. That's good news. We call that good news, but with great news is Bob Brainerd.
Ben Sheets, guys, is getting closer. Threw in extended spring training in Peoria this afternoon against San Diego. Ben threw 75 pitches. 53 of them were strikes. He pitched 4+ innings in Peoria, and he allowed 4 runs, but 2 of them were earned only on 4 base hits. I talked to Gord Ash before the game tonight. He got the report from Roger Kaplinger, the Brewers trainer, who's down there with Ben, as well as Reed Nichols. And Gord added that the numbers were good. They're kind of deceiving because the catcher's done an extended spring training, not used to catching an ace of Ben's caliber. Now, the next schedule is Ben flies back home tonight. He'll be back in Milwaukee tonight. Tomorrow, he gets examined by Brewers team doctor, Dr. Craig Young. And then Wednesday, he will throw bullpen session with Mike Maddox. After that, after the doctor examination and the bullpen session, then and only then will the Brewers make a determination on whether or not Ben will be able to pitch in the near future.
And if all goes well, he could, I say, with a huge capital C, start this weekend.
Yep, that's what I was just getting ready to say. But more importantly, in talking to Ned Yost before the ball game, they're very happy with the way he was able to bounce around the mound in that game today. And that's what was really giving Ben the most problems. Not so much delivering the baseball in his windup, throwing pitches. It was fielding his position and able to defend himself, and even field bunts or make throws over to second base. Those types of things didn't seem to be a problem for Ben today.
Paulie Anderson picking up the slack in the absence of Roger Kaplinger. Well, that's your franchise. You send your head trainer with your franchise, don't you?
Yes, you do. Send the main guy down there, head athletic trainer Roger Kaplinger.
And that's a small little gift to Roger by accident as well. That's where he makes his home, so able to spend a few days with his family, which is a nice aside, if you will, to the story.
Well, that's a gift this time of year, isn't it?
You bet. 2-0 the count on Dustin Moore. Boy, that is good news.
Yes, it is.
Wouldn't that be neat to see Big Ben come back and be available Saturday or Sunday, whatever they decide. High fly ball left field. It would probably be Saturday. Carlos reaches for that wall. You got room, big boy. You got room twice. You had just enough room. All right, the Brewers with a little bit of luck keeping balls in the ballpark. Come on, Carlos. It's right behind you. There it is. Good call. Well, and a good call in the absence of Ben Sheets, handing the baseball to that man. Wes Obermueller, dynamic yesterday, dynamic in Washington, D.C. And if, in fact, Ben is fortunate enough, and the Brewers are fortunate enough to get him back on Saturday, got to wonder where Wes Obermueller fits in if he doesn't get a chance to pitch and stay in that 5 spot.
Well, it's going to be important for Gary Glover to have a good start. He did not fare very well in his start on Friday against Minnesota. An inning and a third. He got hit around pretty good. Got to go with a hot hand. When's Glover due to pitch? Let's see. Wednesday.
Wednesday against Jamie Wright, day baseball. I mean, obviously, for Obermueller, if Ben comes back, he will at least miss a time through if they were to make a move like that, because Ben would pitch Saturday, and that would be the spot that Obi will take if Ben's not ready for Saturday.
If not, Obi's a nice guy to have down in that bullpen. No doubt about it. And he will be ready when he's asked to make a start. That is his lot in life right now in the major leagues.
Breaking ball popped up. Dustin Moore is there, and Brady Clark is 0 for 4.
It has been just about all sliders from Jay Witosik so far. Kind of a roundhouse, late breaking, looping slider, and Brewers haven't been able to center on it yet. I don't believe he's thrown a fastball for a strike yet. Look at that slider.
Jeff Cirillo takes a fastball high. Witosik, on brief stints, has been battled by injury, Bill, but it was back in 2003 that he had a doozy. He was moving what could be categorized as a pretty large garbage bag that had some watermelon in it. Hurt his back.
Watermelon rise, maybe a barbecue, bunch of friends over. Tried to lift it up, throw it in the garbage can, and ended up on a disabled list. That'll go into that category of strange injuries. Baseball's full of stories like that.
Nice, right there. Well done. Suffered a little bit of back damage and also strained an inflamed flexor tendon in his elbow. Got it into the dumpster and then he paid. Cirillo, fly ball, right center field.
Kind of the same thing as Carlos Zambrano. There was some concern in Chicago that, he had the tennis elbow. Nobody's sure what it came from, and lo and behold, it found out that Zambrano spends about 4 hours a day on the internet. And the Cubs were saying that played a little bit of a part in, the carpal tunnel in the elbow and the forearm area. So I guess you stay off the internet and you don't have too much fun at picnics.
There you go. I mean,
if you're a big leaguer.
Guys have motorcycle riding. They can't motorcycle ride. Some of them can't play pickup football or basketball games, and you'll see that added soon. You can't go on your laptop and you can't have a picnic. And if you do have a picnic, no large fruits.
Have somebody else throw out the rinds. Or throw them out on your left hand.
Little spinner out towards short. Barmes gobbles it up. Good looking play. Well, the Brewers go down 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row. Sat down by that man, Jay Witasic. He has shut down the Brewers offensively. Barmes bats third. Coming up next.
Now start receiving the FSN Daily Wire, a free daily email service provided by FSN with news, scores, and schedules for all your favorite Wisconsin teams. Sign up at foxsports.com, keyword North.
Time flies like an arrow. Fruit flies like a banana. As we welcome you back. That one misses low. Credit author Lisa Grossman with that quote. As we have a banana at the park tonight, a rally banana of sorts. And that banana has only been good for 2 runs.
You're becoming quite the philosopher.
No, I'm just Zambrano. I went on the web. Now that banana, that's a focused banana. I mean, that banana's not smiling.
No.
When you'd think that banana would be bouncing up and down and laughing, look at me, I'm in a banana suit. Capuano can't make what would have been a great play. And Luis Gonzalez, it's a big hit right there. With good speed, he represents a tying run.
And it's only a 2-1 game, as you talked about. When the bottom of the order gets on, you're asking for trouble. I would imagine the Brewer bullpen very soon will get busy. It looked like an off-speed pitch out away from Gonzalez. He waited back on it, and they would have knocked it into center field. Only the 3rd hit of the game for the Rockies. The Brewers have only got 5 of their own. Not much going on offensively here tonight. At least not yet.
Corey Sullivan called upon to pinch hit. Ask him to step out of the box. He does, and he gets right back in. And a pickoff throw drives him back. There were some jokes that some guys were telling within the locker room for the Rockies. And the punchline was escaping a couple of the guys, so they went to Sullivan to help him come up with it. They said he's the smart one, so leads me to look it up where he went to Wake Forest. That one misses outside.
ACC guys always seem to be a bit sharper than others.
Oh, did you spin that one? Clemson, folks, in case you didn't know.
Capuano from Duke.
I see how you're working it. Don't bring it back to Capuano.
Nothing gets by the ACC guys or girls.
He takes high. That was well done, though. You spun it right back.
Yeah.
And you were ready. You didn't even know what school I was going to, and you were ready for it. You were just hoping it was an ACC school.
Those ACC schools, once you mention them, they just pop out. Like that banana out there in the outfield. Can't miss it.
That's a strike.
And Jeff Cirillo breathing down the neck of Sullivan in that bunt attempt. You don't get too close. You might just pop it up right over his head, and that'll be a base hit. Jeff about halfway down when that ball's in the hitting zone, maybe closer, about 40 feet away.
Again, he was told 2-2 by someone. Wes Helms, like we saw Damian Miller hear the same thing, and Helms took a look, knew he had a no shot, and got the certain out.
You know what, though? That's a good play by Wes Helms. I mean, he's got a great arm over there at first. Let's take a listen. I'm not sure what was called there. Something was said, but it was a good play by Wes. Now, Wes has got a great arm, but he's not used to making that play as a first baseman, spinning around and making an accurate throw to second base. Get the sure out, and that's what he did.
So now Clint Barmas 0 for 3. And he has to skip some rope there to get out of the way.
He is right on top of home plate and able to get the leg out of the way in time.
Popped up right side. Helms gives it a run, and he makes the play.
Rockies now 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position tonight. Chris Capuano making the pitches when he needs to. Neither team doing a whole lot in those situations. The Brewers only 1 for 7, but it was a biggie. The base hit for Billy Hall.
One more tough customer to get by. One of the best hitters in the National League in this situation. With runners in scoring position, Aaron Miles. Changeup, strike one. What a dandy that was. Wow.
It's always the guys that make contact, don't strike out a whole lot, that are normally good in these situations where a base hit can hurt you, and that's well located off speed pitch for Chris Capuano.
0 for 8 tonight, this club, with runners in scoring position. That's down the right side and foul. Now the Brewers just got done facing the Twins, #1 in the AL in this situation. Now they face the Rockies, #1 in the NL with runners in scoring position at 300 as a team.
Yeah, the Twins are about 330 entering the weekend series with the Brewers, and the Colorado team, we said they hit well, they score some runs, don't hit a lot of home runs, and that's how they score. Numbers like that.
Into center field, charging hard, Brady Clark. He's got it. Another marvelous start for left-hander Chris Capuano with a little help from his friend.
Now the Brewers holding on to a 1-run lead as we head to the bottom of the 8th, and tonight's Tavern of the Game winner is Coach's Pub and Grill in Milwaukee. As the Tavern contact calls the Brewers by 8 o'clock tomorrow at 414-902-4572. Coach's Pub and Grill will get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen for the year 2005. This offer is courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
It was Mike Piazza who once said, "I feel pretty good after being beat up and battered. My body actually looks like an old banana, but it's fine." Someone who else can talk about that is Bob Brenner.
You guys wanted to hear from the banana, right? Justin Richter, second time he's donned the banana outfit. Why?
Because it's different. You don't usually see a banana walking around at a Milwaukee Brewer game.
Yeah, you think?
I'll give you that. So you don't have a reason. You just pick the banana outfit because it's different?
Well, yeah, I got it for Halloween, and I thought it'd be funny to bring to one game. I wanted to get on TV. So then I'm going to start wearing it every day, every time I come here.
Yeah, it worked. You got on TV. Well, I have an angle here. Carlos Lee is from Panama. they grow bananas down there, which are really expensive lately, like 55 cents a pound. There's your tie-in, Carlos Lee bananas. What do you think?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Boy, I really sold him on that one, didn't
What's
I?
with the gloves, Bob?
Don't you think, Justin, you got to know a little bit about the history of the bananas, you know, where they're grown and all that?
Well, yeah, I guess.
You had a little lesson tonight now, didn't you?
Yeah, actually I did. I learned that Carlos Lee's from Panama and bananas grow in Panama, so there's something to learn.
What's with the gloves, though? I mean, it's not that cold.
I don't know. The gloves just match the black, and it was cold one day in Halloween, and I wore them, and they were just down here in this little pocket thing that I have down here. So I kept them in there, and now I'm just wearing them.
I think, guys, this is where the banana got bruised. We'll go with that. There you go. Every time Justin comes to the park now, he's the banana.
Well done, Bob. Carlos Lee mowed down on strikes. That little good luck thing he had going didn't help.
I'll tell you, Juan Acevedo can bring it. I mean, he's got some busy gas coming out of that. Goes hard.
Damian Miller goes after it. And putting it away is Dustin Moore. It is, of course, UC Santa Cruz, University of California, Santa Cruz, that has their mascot as the Banana Slugs. Which I'm sure was just very helpful to all of you as I gave you that information. Here's Billy Hall having a big night. Singled in a pair, doubled as well, and he takes a good fastball for a strike. Capuano has gone 8 innings, has thrown 99 pitches. Breaking ball rolled to short. The question is he coming back out to lock this thing down? Ricky Bottalico's been warming in the bullpen. Stay tuned, we'll find out. This copyright telecast is presented by authority of the Brewers. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Milwaukee Brewers. A couple of days ago, Doug Davis a complete game shutout. On the last road trip, Capuano, Obermueller, each with outstanding starts. Capuano trying to finish it, and Todd Helton first standing in the way. Helton a rare 0 for 3. As a matter of fact, the slugger is 1 for his last 22.
Struck out on a high slider his last time up. Don't want to mess around up there.
And he hits the century mark.
Hasn't been much of a margin for error for Capuano in his last 2 starts. Got no run support in his last start, and he's only got 2 runs to work with here tonight. And he's made the most of it.
Cappy's career high 8 1/3 in that last outing against Washington. The 1-2. Got him! He struck out 3 times yesterday. He has struck out twice tonight. That doesn't happen to Todd Helton. Never.
No, it doesn't. Strikeout total is very low for Helton. This is a high fastball. 4-seamer just above the belt. Got a lot of the plate with it. Damian wanted it on the corner. It was right down the middle, but upstairs.
So another one stacked up for Cappy. Now it's Holiday, and the pitch is way inside, and it hit him. Now this is where it gets interesting.
That's the way the 9th inning started in Washington. It hit batter.
Ed Yost makes a long walk out there. These fans are going to give him the business out of the passion for Cappy, though.
You know what? You just can't allow him to be in a position to lose like he did in Washington. Ned hadn't made a move yet. We'll see what happens. I mean, his last time out, he lost 1-0, and Mike Adams was on the mound to give up the run that cost Capuano. They're going to go to the bullpen. I agree 100% with this move. As well as he's pitched in this ball game, you can't risk him serving up a home run ball and getting another loss. Pitching the way he's pitched tonight.
Another outstanding effort for Southpaw Chris Capuano. Again, last time out, Chris Capuano throwing shutout baseball in a 0-0 game into the ninth. Hit a batter, was removed from the game after a sacrifice bunt, and Mike Adams came in, and Capuano pinned with a 1-0 loss. You told me during the break you think Ned Yost made the right move this time and considered what happened last time in that move.
No doubt about it. I mean, you know, the popular decision would be to allow Capuano to finish the ball game, but Ned Yost's job is not to be popular. He's got to make the right move and to develop young players, young pitchers. You can't put Capuano in a position to lose again like what happened in Washington.
So in other words, be 0-2 with 2 outings like he had.
No, absolutely. You just can't do it to him.
So now it's Ricky Bottalico.
And before the inning started, we were talking about it, and I thought that Ned was going to allow him to go out there until he gave up 1 base runner, and that's exactly what happened.
I'll tell you this, I'm sure Bottalico thrilled to get the baseball again today. Yesterday, it was Derek Turnbow who was rolled in on all the highlights. It was Matt Wise and Jr. Spivey as well, Spivey making the air. But Bottalico will tell you it was me struggling when I came in and only lasting a third of an inning and putting 3 runners on base that forced the entire issue.
Yep, he struck out the first batter he faced in the 8th, gave up a couple of hits and a walk, and forced Ned Yost to bring in Derek Turnbow. Turnbow struck out a couple of guys, but to an awful lot of pitches, and was very ineffective in the 9th inning.
And if the right-hander does what he's done so many times this year, he puts 3 outs up on the board. The Brewers are still up by 3, and it's a different game. So a chance for redemption today. Good hard breaking ball. It kicks away from Miller, though. And now that tying run moves up 90 feet in the form of Matt Holliday. Wild pitch.
And it changes the complexion of this at bat in the inning as well. Ground ball now. You can't turn the double play and end the ball game. Now a base hit will score a run to tie it up. Well, when you got a curveball pitcher out there, you've got to block that pitch, particularly with 2 strikes. You want him to bounce it. Got to keep it in front of you.
Popped him up on a breaking ball. J.J. Hardy finds it and catches it. 2 outs. And Chris Capuano, if in fact they can get after Garrett Atkins, will earn victory number 4 on the season. Capuano last year pitched very well twice against these Rockies. Hoping the 3rd time is a charm. Oh, what a hard slider. Just missed low, 1-0. Atkins tonight rolled into a double play, reached on an error, and struck out. Fastball is high.
Got to be careful. 2-0. Don't want to give in to him. They got a pinch hitter on deck. It looks like Dustin Moore has been brought back to the dugout with a left-hander out there.
Slider.
He wasn't going to give in. Threw him the slider. He's not going to throw a fastball down the middle, and went with a breaking ball.
He lost him. And with that base open, it's exactly what you said.
And once you got behind 2-0, I mean, don't give him a cookie down the middle and let him get a base hit to tie it up. No activity in the Brewer bullpen. This is Bottalico's inning.
This is Brad Hawk, who is called upon to pinch hit. Left-handed batter. Simbo throwing 40 pitches yesterday.
Yeah, that's why he pretty much unavailable here tonight. That's an awful lot of pitches for anybody, particularly your closer.
They'll get the scouting report on Hawk right away. The numbers tell us his .327 batting average put him second on the club only to Clint Barnes. In this situation, he has done good work as well. He is .364 is his batting average with runners in scoring position.
Guy that makes contact, hits the ball over the ballpark. These are the kind of guys you hate to see up in these situations.
Well, he's a pro pinch hitter as well, isn't he?
Contact hitter. A base hit ties it.
Well, they had the game where they wanted at least, with Hawk up with a chance to do some damage. Capuano, all he can do is watch. And the pitch is low. The 1-0 is pop foul. We're even at 1-1.
Ricky throws the fastball between 95 to, or I should say 85 to about 89 miles an hour. That one about 86 up in the zone. Well, you know, if he gets ahead, he wants to finish him off with a breaking ball, that overhand curveball. Damian's got to block it.
One and two, the count.
Pumped up on that one, didn't he? 92.
More than 100 saves in his career. He's been in this situation before. The 1-2. Just high. Same pitch. He didn't chase.
Got to figure he's want to finish him over that curveball in the dirt. That's his strikeout pitch.
Got him looking. Chris Capuano with the win. The assistant manager, Ned Yosti, was not going to let Capuano lose this game. And redemption for Ricky Bottalico, who struggled yesterday in Minnesota. And the Brewers back home and back to their winning ways, victorious tonight by a score of 2-1. We'll hear from a hero right after this. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.